Hello and welcome to week 4. Today we'll be working on module 4, or actually this whole week we'll be working in module 4. So I'd like to go ahead and start with our module 4. Now, our Zoom meeting is going to be Monday, July 6th. And please look at the time because there's two times. One's at 6 o'clock and one's at 7:30. So make sure you look at your invitation for the time. Okay, so in this module, you will be reading chapter 7 and chapter 8. Now, chapter 7 goes over using conversations to listen to language speech. It gives you the listening as a language of the foundation for language development. Talks about different types of assessments, which is planned listening activities, informal observation of language, as well as child interviews. Talks about documentation of children's language and how to find the time to document. Also, we'll go over the advantages and disadvantages using conversation to listen to language and speech. Also talks about actually listening to receptive language, learning how to listen and learning to speak or learning about speech. Also, we'll go over speech and language development. There is a figure 7.1 in your textbook that you should look over. Talks about the different acquisition theories, which include the theorists of Skinner and Bandura, Kromsky, Bruner, Vygotsky, and then Hart and Risley. So make sure that you read over those. Language progression, which is the beginning of communication, the functions of language, as well as dual language learners. Then it jumps into the teacher's role in language development on how we facilitate language, how we role model language for the children in our care, and then again, helping all children with language and development. That is all of chapter 7. And then chapter 8 actually uses time samplings to look at attention span. So this is how we measure attention span using time sampling. So it goes over how to utilize time samplings. Then also, really important, you don't want to use time samplings for infants or young toddlers. This is not an appropriate form of documentation for that age group. So make sure you look over that. That's very important. And then also it has factors influencing children's attention span. So make sure you go over that. It tells you some different key elements to be looking at. Also, again, shows you the advantages and disadvantages of this, along with looking at approaches to learning and how learning begins in the brain and what research tells us about attention and memory. Let's see, we also look at approaches to learning in chapter 8 and multiple intelligences. It talks about the different hemispheres, your left hemisphere versus your right hemisphere. So make sure to read that in detail. Then it goes over playful curriculum, which is the most important part of curriculum. All of our curriculum for young children should be playful. It should include problem solving, math learning, literacy, self-regulation, which is a really important one, and then also talks about project approach, excuse me. At the end, it talks about Piaget and cognitive development, along with Vygotsky and social interaction role in cognition. So make sure you read those two chapters very carefully. Let's go over the actual instructions. I will open up, obviously, the PowerPoint presentations as well for both of those. So you want to attend, again, very important, on July 6th. You want to attend your Zoom meeting. We're going to be talking about observation number 2. You should have already turned in your observation number 1. Observation number 2 covers language and literacy. Okay, so we'll go over that in detail on July 6th. When you're attending, you will receive 10 points for participation points. Again, I teach 2 sections of this course. One is at 6 o'clock and one is at 7:30. Those are the 2 times that those will be offered. If you want to read chapters 7 and 8, you'll want to go over your PowerPoints of 7 and 8. I also have put in here to review Community Care Licensing Title 22. That's going to help you with this observation. We'll go over that a little bit more during the Zoom meeting, but make sure you take a look at that and kind of get your feet wet with this licensing Title 22. And then, so again, you're going to submit observation number 1. It's worth 90 points by July 6th at 11:59 p.m. You'll have your peer report, your peer review due on Saturday the 3rd, and then your the 6th, which is Monday. After you look over your peer review, you want to make your changes and so forth, and then you want to submit it. Again, that is due July 6th. I'll remind you when we meet to talk about observation 2. It's the same day, right? And then your quizzes, of course, chapter 7 and chapter 8, they are with 10 points each. They are due by the 10th of July. And then your discussion board is it's under gathering information. It's worth 10 points. And like every single week, my friends, the first original thread is due the Wednesday of this week. And then your 2 peer responses are due by Friday, both at 11:59. Let me go ahead and go over that real quick with you, the discussion board for this particular week. Okay, this is, oops, went a little too fast, I'm sorry. This is number 4, and gathering information. Here we go. So under this, it says choose one of the topics under health, family, age stage, culture, race, economic circumstances, or self-concept. So you're going to choose one of the following tasks. You are going to make a list of what information you might be able to gather or observe in this category by listening to children as they play and work without asking direct questions. Okay, again, you're picking one of these, and then you're going to make a list. Then you'll compare and contrast a list of your peers. So the purpose of this assignment is I want you to think more about hearing as an observation technique and a specific interferential information that can be observed and recorded about the child, right? Again, Wednesday, July 8th at 11:59, your original thread of you picking one of these and making that list is due, and then you want to read 2 of your peers and respond to 2 of them by July 10th, which is Friday at 11:59. Again, your original post should be 100 words in length, and your 2 peer posts, your responses should be at least 50 words in length. Make sure you're looking at that. When you're typing it in, there's a little word count on the bottom. A couple of you are not looking at that, and you're not getting full credit because you have 30 words or 25 words. Your responses need to be 50 or more, okay? You have your rubric here to look at if you need that. Other than that, have a great week. Please send me an email if you have any questions. I'm looking forward to seeing you all on the 6th, and we'll talk soon. Take care.